and will brief on the do and don'ts during the webinar. And after that, I will pass the floor to Encik Zulhelmi for the webinar session. And last but not least, we'll have a Q&A session after the webinar. I mean, after the Encik Zulhelmi session. Okay, so if you have any question, please write it on the chat box, or otherwise you can ask directly during the Q&A session. Okay, for calibration gas, the definition often known as calibration gas, mixed gas, specialty gas. However, from the technical point of view, it is well known as calibration gas. Okay, calibration gas refers to gas or gas mixtures used as comparative standard in the calibration of analytical instruments like gas analyzers or gas detectors. The calibration gas standard is established as a known analyzer response to a certified chemical component concentration. The brief function of calibration gas is important tools in ensuring the proper performance of your gas monitors. Calibration gas ensures that your gas detectors is functioning properly and responding to gas exposure precisely, actually. Gas detection equipment should be bump test or periodically calibrated to ensure the sensors in your gas detectors are functioning properly and last longer. This will also help to guard against normal wear and tear of the sensor or the sensor drift and gradual degradation that's normally occur over a certain time period. Okay, during this webinar, please mute your microphone to avoid interruption during the session. Please refrain from discussion regarding other unrelated issues during this session. Please kindly drop your question in the chat box, and all the questions will be entertained during the Q&A session. Okay, Encik Muhammad, our speaker today, Encik Muhammad Zulhelmi bin Yunus, currently works as an engineer, specialist in calibration gas production. He's an expert in conducting gas calculation, gas mixing, design and upgrade of a new system for gas panel. Without further ado, I present you Encik Muhammad Zulhelmi bin Yunus. Encik Zulhelmi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you Encik Ismi. I try to set up first. Excuse me, is it my slide clear or not? Excuse me?
Okay, yes, we can see your slides.
Okay, so it's clear, right? Okay, thank you so much, Ismi. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And Very good morning to all the participants. Okay, my name is Muhammad Zulhilmi Ben Junus, and I am the speaker for today, invited by the Intensive Energy. So my occupation is I am an engineer. So without wasting our time, I will start this webinar. And the topic that has given to me is discover flexible service of calibration gases in Malaysia. Okay, first, what is the calibration gases? A calibration gas or mixed gas is a mixture of gas component in liquid form or gas form used as a comparative reference in the calibration of analytical instruments such as gas detector or gas analyzer. Calibration is important for all testing instruments, and the calibration gas is a means of establishing a non-response to a certified chemical component concentration. To be a calibration gas, the gas must be traceable to a national or international standard. Traceability is the unbroken chain of convergence to an acceptable international standard. Calibration gas standard establish a non-analyzer response to a certified chemical component concentration. In the calibration gas, preparation tolerance, or what we call as a PT, or blending tolerance, and certification analytical accuracy are of utmost importance. So basically, gas have two forms, which is in liquid form and gas form. So within time, gas detector need to be calibrated. This is to make sure the position of the gas detector. Gas detector need to be calibrated depends on the manufacturer recommendation, maybe once a year or maybe twice a year. For every type of calibration gas, there will be a blending tolerance or preparation tolerance, and it must be within a range. This is to make sure that the analytical instrument is calibrated using right and quality of gases. So next slide. Okay, what is the application of this calibration gas? So calibration gas are used to calibrate and set the gas detectors to ensure they are functioning accurately. The only way to be sure that a gas detector is working correctly is to test it with non-calibration gas. Calibration gas is used for the calibration and bump testing of portable gas detectors and fixed gas detection systems. The mixture of gas has been certified to be prepared gravimetrically. Using the right calibration gas for an instrument ensures that the gas monitor or gas detector is in good working order and complies with manufacturer's recommendation. Calibration gas are essential for optimal performance and smooth efficiency. Keeping your instrument in good working order, calibration gas are also crucial to ensuring everyone handling gas detectors and fixed gas detection system are safe. So within time, analytical instruments such as gas detector or the gas analyzer need to be calibrated based on manufacturer recommendation. Like I said before, maybe once a year or twice a year. This instrument need to be calibrated to ensure the first is it is functioning accurately and it can show the accurate gas concentration. Number two, fix the precision of the gas detector more precisely. Because within time, precision of analytical instruments such as gas detector or the gas analyzer will decrease and it will need to be calibrated. Number three, complies with manufacturer recommendation. And number four, as a safety instrument, gas detector are essential to be in a good working order. Okay, we go to the next slide. Okay, type of cylinder. Variant of volume and cylinder have variant of volume and surface type. Standard volume of gas cylinder consists of 50 liter, 47 liter, 20 liter, 10 liter, and 1.6 liter. This is the common size, the common volume of gas cylinder. So mostly manufacturer also deliver specific volume request by the client. So if the volume that the client don't have here, so you just can request from your manufacturer. Type of cylinder that commonly used in gas industry are steel and stainless steel. Okay, so for the stainless steel, there are two types, which is coated and non-coated stainless steel cylinder. So coated cylinder means the cylinder have go through what we call as the passivation process, where the purpose of this process is to remove all the free iron inside the cylinder surface. So coated cylinder is used to fill toxic or type of gas that easily reacts with water. For example, like hydrogen sulfide, H2S, or carbon monoxide, and others. So depends on the gas lah. So it also to prevent corrosion on the inner surface of the cylinder. And also the passivation process is to maintain the quality of the gas of the calibration gases when we mix the gas inside the cylinder. This is one of the initiative for you all as a client, where you can save cost by using the right cylinder to the right gas. Because if you buy the gas and use the gas cylinder that is coated, the price is more expensive rather than non-coated. And it also help you to save cost lah. Okay, next. Okay, this is the example of the cylinder. So if you can see at figure 1 and figure 2, this one is the 50 liter stainless steel. Okay, this one is the 47 liter stainless steel. If you can see at the figure 4, how you want to know the volume of the gas cylinder, so you can see the figure 4, where it states that 47.0 liter. That means this cylinder is 47 liter. Same goes to for this 50 liter. So if you want to see the volume, you can see the figure 2 where it states that volume 50.0. Okay, so this is the 47 liter steel, and figure 6 is 10 liter steel. And this one is 10 liter stainless steel. And this one is the smallest one lah. Usually this one is 1.6 liter. And 1.6 liter also we call it as a disposable cylinder. This one is a Luxfer, and this one is non-treated. That means the Luxfer is the coated, and this one is just for normal one, non-treated disposable cylinder. Okay, manufacturing method. Specialist facilities should be built as per demand of customers. Filling manifold, distribution pipelines are made of stainless steel, as all gas refilling and blending will be done gravimetrically. The facility will need precision scales, vacuum pumps for handling oxidizing, flammable and toxic gases. For liquid transfer, we will need cryogenic pumps, vaporizers, and for specialty gas filling and blending, we will require separate inert, oxidizing, flammable, and toxic gases facilities. Also need a multiple number of equipment for cylinder preparation. For example, like cylinder external rust removal, cylinder internal cleaning, cylinder baking and pre-treatment, painting booth, hydro test facility, valve and devalve, and cylinder homogenization equipment. So mostly manufacturers are using gravimetrically method to fill gases, and weight balance and their weight balance is traceable to NIST. To make sure the quality of cylinder and calibration gases, manufacturer had done cylinder external dust removal to remove dust from cylinder surface, and cylinder internal cleaning or what we call as the hydrotest cleaning, to clean up all the impurities inside cylinder to make sure the inner part of the cylinder is totally clean. So when we buy the cylinder from the manufacturer, so the inside surface of the cylinder basically is not so clean. So we will do the hydrotest cleaning to clean up all the impurities inside the cylinder before we treat the cylinder. Okay, next, valve selection. Various types of cylinder and valve are available depend on client specification. Either it is 50 liter, 47 liter, 10 liter or 1.6 liter, which include BS or CGA valve type. BS or CGA valve type is just a valve, but BS is the British one and CGA, if not mistaken, is from American. So the thread of the valve must suit with the thread of the cylinder. This is to ensure that the valve is tight enough to withstand the pressure that will be added. Hence, to avoid gas leaking or damage on cylinder, valve will be tightened using a special hydraulic valve installer machine. So when you want to install the valve into the cylinder, you cannot just use your bare hand. So you need a special hydraulic valve installer machine. So the valve will, when you install the valve will be tight enough to the cylinder, so to avoid leaking, because we will pump up a high pressure of gas inside the cylinder. So the valve must be tight enough. So I just take the picture here where this is what we call a valve. Figure 12 is the BS type valve and figure 13 is CGA type of valve. So how you want to differentiate between BS and CGA? The easiest way for you to know which one is BS or CGA, you can see a label at the valve. So that's the easiest way lah. So the BS we state there BS4 or BS3. CGA it will state there CGA, 320, 330, 350 and others. So cylinder preparation. The inner part of gas cylinder will be cleaned to ensure that there is no impurities, moisture or other gases in the cylinder before mixing process. So the cylinder must go through treatment process. It will be applied throughout this process in order to remove the moisture inside the cylinder when we have finished doing the hydro test. Because when we want to clean the inner part of the cylinder, we will do the hydro test like I said before. So the hydro test will have a lot or a little one or a little moisture. So for you to vaporize the moisture inside the cylinder, you need to apply the heat. So this is to ensure the quality of the final product. This cylinder preparation purpose is to make sure the final product quality. Moisture or other impurities may result low quality of calibration gas because of chemical reaction inside the cylinder. So it is crucial to vacuum out and vaporize any moisture inside cylinder after valve installation. So after valve installation, this step is a crucial one because we want to make sure the surface inside the cylinder is very clean before we mix the gas, and there is no moisture inside the cylinder, because when the chemical reaction happens, so your concentration of the gases maybe become decreased and not become a quality gas. So gas mixing. Calculation will be made by engineer to identify the amount of gases that will be added in gram and to identify the maximum pressure of raw material based on customer order. Gravitational method will be used to measure the quantity in gram of gases that's been added in cylinder to get the exact quantity depending on customer request. To achieve highest quality of product, production line must carry out its production activities in a way to meet the requirement of ISO. Basically for the production, ISO 6141, 6142 and 6143. And weight balance is traceable to National Institute of Standard and Technology, or what we call is traceable to NIST. Leak tests will be conducted for each batch after mixing process completed to ensure there is no leak on cylinder valve that can cause pressure and concentration of gases inside cylinder drop, and to ensure the quality product. The filled cylinder will be rolled in order to ensure that the gases that has been added into the cylinder is well blended. Okay, next slide. Analytical Laboratory. So, laboratory provide gas analytical service, including natural gas analysis, sulfur gas analysis, reform gas analysis, and others. Using basically laboratory will use the gas chromatography, what we call as a GC, with various detectors such as FID, TCD, FPD, and PDHID. So if you want to know what is meant by FID, TCD, FPD, PDHID, maybe you can Google it so you can know what is the meaning of that. To maintain the highest quality of testing result, analytical laboratory carries out its laboratory activities in a way to meet the requirement of ISO 17025, the laboratory customers, regulatory authorities, and SAMM. So after mixing process, laboratory will conduct a test to the client cylinder. This is to make sure the quality of the calibration gas that has been batched. Laboratory will have their own standard operation procedure, or what we call as SOP, that comply to ISO 17025. So laboratory also have their own QC check, or quality control check, to achieve result that valid to client request, to make sure the quality of the final product before shipped to the client. So we move to the next. So this is the common test available at the laboratory, where it can test natural gases, reform gases, or sulfur gases. Natural gases like methane, ethane, propane, isobutane, and butane. Reform gas like hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur gas like hydrogen sulfide, H2S, sulfur dioxide, carbon sulfide, and others. So this is just part of it. Okay, product shelf life. So every product have their shelf life. Calibration gas expiration date are listed on every industrial scientific calibration gas bottle. The concentration of gases in a cylinder may decrease or eventually disappear over time due to gas reacting to moisture, oxygen, or other chemicals. Once a cylinder is expired, it should no longer be used. Over a period of time, chemical reaction take place inside the cylinder and can alter the contents of the bottle. There is nothing a manufacturer or user can do to extend calibration gas shelf life, as we simply cannot control the nature of this reactive gas. So product shelf life period is depend on the type of the calibration gas. Client can ask for shelf life period of their gases from their manufacturer. So certificate of when you buy a calibration gases or natural gases, so basically the supplier or the manufacturer will give you the certificate of analysis, or what we call as the COA, or certificate of conformity, or what we call as the COC. Okay, so this is one of the example for product shelf life. If you can see here, there's a lot. So this is just part of it. I take example like carbon dioxide, CO2, 1%. If you buy carbon dioxide 1% plus air as the balance, so the shelf life should be between 12 to 24 months. And you can see the rest. So if you want to make sure your calibration gas shelf life, you can refer back to your manufacturer or your gas supplier. Okay, so for safety precaution, my background is not from safety, and to to get the better knowledge about the safety, maybe you can ask any safety gas safety officer, because I am an engineer, but I just can share to all of you a little bit about safety, but I'm not so what we call it, professional inside the safety precaution topic, because I am an engineer. So this is the example for the what we call it, lambang lah untuk for the flammable gas, non-toxic, oxidizing and others. So this is the basic one for class 2.1 flammable gas. If you can see the sign here, it is the red one, which means it is a flammable. So the example of this type of gases is like LPG or hydrogen or acetylene. And for the green sign, class 2.2, it is non-flammable, non-toxic gas. The example of this type of gas is like compressed air, nitrogen, argon, carbon dioxide, or helium. For class 2.2 for oxidizing gas, the sign is the yellow one. So the type of gases is like oxygen, nitrous oxide, anthrax, and others. And this one is a very dangerous gas because it's a toxic gas. So toxic gas in class 2.3. So the example of this toxic gas, usually methyl bromide, ammonia, chlorine, hydrogen sulfide, and others. So this is the simplest I can give to you about safety gas lah. And the last one, okay, gas cylinders should only be transported on an open bag utility or in a utility bag canopy that is separate from the main body of the vehicle. Ideally, cylinders should be transported standing up and firmly secured. Flammable and liquid withdrawal cylinders should always be transported in upright position. If cylinders are transported lying down, then suitable support devices are required to prevent the cylinders from rolling. Remove the gas cylinders from the vehicle immediately on arrival to destination and secure them appropriately. So when you see this picture, this is the basic how you want to transport the gas from your place to another place. So if you don't use any lorry, or you just use the 4x4, so this is the best position you can put your cylinder lah. Okay, that's all from me. So I open for Q&A session and I pass back this webinar to Encik Ismi.
Thank you, Zul, for the explanation. Okay, we have several questions for today. First question today comes from Encik Khairul. He asked, can we use cylinder more than 10 years? If not, why?
Okay, if you said about a cylinder, can we use cylinder more than 10 years? My answer is it depends to the cylinder condition. If you doing an inspection and you see corrosion and it become rust, so for your safety you cannot use it anymore, because when you insert inside the cylinder, for example like 180 bar inside the cylinders, so it not safe for you lah. I'm not saying that the 10-year cylinder is okay to be used, but if you inspect and it's in good condition, so you can use it.
Okay. I hope that will answer Encik Khairul's question. So every participant, if you have more questions, please write down in the chat room, or maybe you can ask directly. Unmute your mic and straight ask to Encik Zohel. Anybody have a question? If not, I'll continue with the next question. Where is the most suitable location to do this calibration? I think the person asked the suitable location to do the calibration of the gas detector or the gas analyzer.
Oh, okay. For you to inspect your gas detectors, the best place for you to do it is inside a room where you have a good ventilation and you have a good safety. In case anything happen like gas leaking, so when you have the ventilation will suck up like the poisonous gas, so you're not exposed to the gas. And another thing is for your safety lah, make sure you have the what we call it, fire extinguisher if anything happen, fire happen. So that's the best place for you to do lah.
Okay, Zul. Next question from Miss Ellen. What is the most dangerous gas used for manufacturing of certain chips in electronic components? Why we need to use this type of gases to produce the components?
Okay, for this type of question, actually this question is not in my field because this one you have to ask for the electronic component engineer, because I am from the gas side. So basically the engineer from electronic component will ask me for the type of gases. So for the electronic component, why we need to use the type of gases, so that one, this question actually you have to ask for the from the electronic component engineer, because I am the gas engineer. So basically the gas the electronic component engineer just asked me to buy this type of gases. So I also not sure what the purpose of why they buy this kind of gas. So I hope that will answer your question lah. So if you want to get the best or the exact answer, you have to ask from the electronic component engineer.
Okay, Zul. Next question. How we can calibrate gas when the gas don't have any color?
Oh, okay. Okay, usually when we want to calibrate the gas detector, we don't need any color on the gas. Basically, we calibrate the gas detector using the concentration of the gas. So if the gas have color or colorless, that is not important, because the important one is the concentration of the gas itself. For example, like 25 particle per million, 15 particle per million of hydrogen sulfide, like that. So for the gas to have color or not, that is not important in gas detector calibration gas detector.
Okay. The next question: is it possible we can run out of gas sources? If no, how we can sustain the source?
Okay.
I think it's not right. Is it possible we can run out of the gas sources? If yes, how we can sustain the sources?
Okay, for natural gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, it is impossible for us to run out, because if we don't have oxygen, we also not here today lah. And the gases that will run out, maybe the rare gas like neopentane, the gas that we produce, not the nature one. So basically the nature gas like oxygen, like that, it is impossible for us to run out the gas lah.
Okay. Next question: how to know the calibration deadline? and how you calculate this?
Okay, so deadline is a shelf life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the shelf life, we don't have any exact calculation for the gas because the shelf life, we will do a testing for the shelf life for each gases, where when we first batch, we will wait until 1 or 2 years and we will see the result for every month. For example, like I take hydrogen sulfide 25 ppm plus nitrogen. So for example, like I batch 1 January 2020. So every month I will inspect the gas bag where I want to see either the gas is still 25 ppm or not. So if it is still 25 ppm, until what time the cylinder will concentration will drop. So basically we will do like 5 cylinder. So we will make a test at 5 cylinder. So we will see how long the concentration inside the cylinder will drop. For example, like 1 year or 2 year. That's why the shelf life, we will give a shelf life 12 to 24 months. So within the period of 12 months to 24 months, even maybe the concentration of the gas will drop. So there is no specific calculation for the concentration. We will we just do a test to know the exact shelf life, not the exact lah, the shelf life of the calibration gases, and there is no calculation for that.
Okay. Okay, Zul. Another question. Do we have to calibrate our gas detector if we only use it once a year? Meaning they only use the gas detector for one time a year. And for 1 year they only use it once. So
Okay.
do they have to do the calibration?
Okay. Um, the best thing you can do is you just calibrate based on your manufacturer recommendation lah. Either you use just once a year or twice a year. You just you just follow your manufacturer recommendation. If your manufacturer said that every year you have to calibrate one time or twice, so you just follow. This is to maintain, and this also for your safety of your gas detector, because when you use it, you know your gas detector is in good condition and it can give you the exact amount of concentration when you use the gas detector. So for me, the best thing is you just calibrate based on manufacturer recommendation. Either you use it once a year.
Okay, Zul, Encik Hairul ask another question. Okay, I will ask the question in Malay. Jika dalam satu tangki terdapat campuran beberapa gas, adakah ada kemungkinan sebahagian saja gas yang leak?
Okay. I give you two answer for this lah. Some of gases, calibration gases, we take a 2-cylinder. If all the gases inside the cylinder is in gas form, eventually all the gases will leak lah. I mean, dalam satu tangki tu terdapat beberapa campuran. So semua campuran tu bila after mixing process, we will roll the cylinder untuk dia well blend lah dekat dalam, dia dah bercampur. So if that type of gas leak from the cylinder, so semua concentration untuk setiap, for example ada 5 gas dalam, so setiap 5 gas tu punya concentration akan drop. But untuk gases that in liquid form, for example ada liquid form dekat dalam tu, dia punya raw material dia liquid form, so depends berapa besar you punya leak. So kadang-kadang leak tu terlampau kecil, so yang liquid form tu mungkin tidak akan, concentration dia tidak akan turun. Tapi yang gas-gas lain dalam gas form tu dia akan turun sebab dia dah betul-betul blend bila kita buat blending proses tu. So I hope that will answer your question lah. So ada dua situation.
Okay, another question from Cik Muhammad. Any other test for quality control? Is it just leak test?
Okay. Any other test for quality control? Is it just a leak test? Okay. One is a leak test because we want to know if there any leak around the valve. And other than that, after we basically lah manufacturer before after they mix the gas, so the gas will go to the laboratory to the lab lah. So lab will run the gas that already be mixed into the what we call a GC. So the GC ni we akan tengok the concentration inside the cylinder lah. So adakah concentration inside the cylinder to match with the customer client. So if match, we will go to next stage where we will ship the cylinder to the customer lah. But after the lab bila the test, so the concentration is not enough with the client punya request. So production will batch back the cylinder. So the most important is from lab lah. Diorang akan go through GC, the gas will go through GC and they will check the concentration of the gases. Because yalah kadang-kadang kalau macam customer beli, diorang akan request certain concentration. So the manufacturer want to take care about their quality, so they will go through the through the GC test dulu sebelum diorang ship.
Okay, Cik Zul. Another question. What are the possible hazard can be happen? I think this question relate to what possible hazard during calibration ataupun use of the calibration gas.
Okay, the possible hazard is depend on type of gases that you are using. Like I shared before about the sign. So if the gases is poisonous, so the possible hazard is you exposed to a poisonous gas lah. So maybe you can have a bad breathing, and if your calibration gas is flammable type, like there is a hydrogen gas inside, so the possible hazard is explosion like that. So you need to remove all the thing that ignite fire or spark. So depends on the type of gases that you are using, the hazard.
Okay, before we move to the last question, so ladies and gentlemen, do you have any other question you would like to ask?
I see Muhammad Ammar is asking one more question.
Oh yeah, Cik Muhammad Ammar. How often should gas detector be calibrated? I think we already touched that question again, but maybe you can.
Okay, I will answer that lah. Okay, Encik Ammar. How often should gas detectors be calibrated? It depends on your manufacturer. So if you want to know the exact answer, you should ask your gas detector manufacturer, because some manufacturer recommend that your gas detector need to be calibrated once a year, and others manufacturer also recommend you to calibrate your gas detector twice a year. So depends on your gas detector manufacturer. You should ask your gas detector manufacturer lah for you to get the exact answer, because I am as the gas manufacturer, I cannot give you the exact answer because I'm not doing the gas detectors. So I hope that will answer your question.
Okay. Further to Cik Muhammad Ammar question, if let's say we don't do the calibration of gas detector, what are the consequences on the machine if we are not doing it? I mean the calibration.
We are not doing gas.
And then we don't do calibration gas for the gas detector. What what will happen to the gas detector?
Okay. Like I said before, within time, the precision of the analytical instruments such as the gas detectors will decrease, and it will need to be calibrated lah, because the sensor inside the gas detector, it is so sensitive. So within time, the sensitivity decrease. So that's why you need to calibrate your gas detector based on the gas detector supplier recommendation. So, and that's why gas detector supplier recommend you to calibrate your gas detector, because they also know the sensor will eventually will decrease for like 1 year, 2 years. So that's why you need to calibrate. So the consequences that if you do not calibrate your gas detector based on the your gas detector supplier recommendation, so when you want to use the gas detector, you will not get the exact amount of concentration when the gas detector exposed to the real gas concentration.
Okay, Jetzel, I think that is all the questions we have today. Thank you very much for the explanation and the answer for those questions. Let me. Okay, for all the participants, if you like to know more on the ISB, this is the ISP core business, right? And then if you have any other questions regarding calibration gas or regarding other services, please send your inquiry to admin@iesb.my, or you can send to me, it's me Muhammad at iesb.my, and Muhammad Amar at iesb.my. Okay, thank you for your time this morning. I hope you will get more information on the calibration gas, so it will be useful. Okay, and again, if you need more information, please contact us. And thank you, and have a very nice day. Thank you everybody for your time. Assalamualaikum.